Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, as usual, starting off with the draft. Cadena, I hope you're ready. We take this seriously, very seriously. Well, we vote. Usually I win most of the time, but my family helps me out. But we're drafting celebrities whose name starts with your middle initial. What's your middle initial?
W.
W.
Ooh. That's tough.
That is a fucking tough one. I got E. I'm pretty stacked. I'm confident.
Yep.
And Jacob, you got.
I have A.
All right. Well, Cadena, since you are the guest, you can go first. So just so you know, I don't know how many people you got in your head, but we do an owner, a coach, a starting five, and then 3 bench players. It's a total of 10. So you can try your best.
Do they have to be NBA?
No, it's straight up any celebrities.
Oh, any celebrity.
Any
Celebrity that
yeah.
start with W.
NBA would have been hard as shit.
Yeah.
Than saying some like European players or some
Right.
shit.
Like, for example, we did first names last week, and for my owner, I had Jesus Christ.
I love it.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you'd be like owner, your GM, coach. Wait, do we do GM or is it just coach?
Both.
Both. So,
Owner, coach.
yeah. You can look it up, yeah, obviously. But we'll start with you. We'll go to Cam next, me, and then we'll just go back to you. Usually we go back, like snake it, but we all have different last names, so. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, so you started off. Who is your owner?
Who's my owner?
That starts with the W.
For an owner, I need somebody that's wealthy. So somebody that's got some money, some power, some pull. So I'm going Prince William.
Okay.
Damn. Alright. Well, I don't know how many of you guys like him, but I think I got a great owner. He has a lot of money. Elon Musk.
That's a good one. Hold on. Let me pull up the list real quick because I forgot. I was looking this up earlier. Oh, easy. So I'm gonna do one of the comedic geniuses of the generation for my owner, and this is gonna be Mr. Adam Sandler.
That was a good one. Alright. Cadena, now this is your coach.
Ooh. See, this is tough. I think I want to go with somebody who can kind of do a little bit of all, has been around for a while. I'm gonna go William Dafoe.
Dang, you're bringing out the old people.
Get the culture, man.
Mr. Dr. Doom.
Alright. Jacob, you'll probably appreciate this one.
Okay.
With my coach, I'm doing someone that she could handle the craziness. She could handle the 2 best friends at Hogwarts. I'm going Emma Watson.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I was looking at people with the letter E, and I was like, oh, you got Hermione Granger, so that's a good one.
Yep.
All right, for my coach. All right, Cadena, we were talking about this earlier to be funny, but I need one of the best leaders. Doesn't mean he's.
Oh my god.
This is very controversial. He's not a good leader. He's pretty awful, but. Should I even go there?
Yeah.
I mean,
you're already here,
This
man.
is short, guys. This is that's the biggest funny. Let's go what?
Hey, you know what? There is that coach from Grand Valley who's on the trouble for saying he's a great. I mean, there's good and bad leaders. He's a bad one, but
That's true. He's still a leader.
He had bad intentions, but he did lead very well.
Right. Exactly.
yeah.
Period. We're gonna end on that one.
That's
Yeah, honestly, what a great pick.
All
Alright, Cadena, now,
Yeah, I guess that one. Up.
starting 5, we'll just go one at a time. Who is your first player?
all right. I want somebody that can kind of control the narrative, kind of be my point guard, somebody that's going to be able to facilitate, do some of that stuff. So I'm gonna go William Shakespeare.
Man, you're really pulling out the...
Well, how many people do you know with W's? To be honest with you.
None.
That's true.
It's all old people. Alright. For my first one, you only get one shot, one opportunity. So you better take it. Eminem.
That's a good pick. For mine, I'm going to go with. This is my point guard. She's a great leader of women. Let's go Ariana Grande.
Damn, that's a good one.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Alright, Canadian.
My team's filled with Williams, so I'm gonna go another person, kind of underrated, right? He's like the underrated, but he's done very well in his life of work. I'm gonna go Will I Am.
Oh, that's a good one. Alright. This one, a little old school. He's gonna bring like the rock star, like the style, bring all the ladies, the older ladies, maybe their grandmas.
Okay.
I'm going with Elvis Presley.
Good one, OG, peanut butter and banana sandwich. Alright, for my next person, this is gonna be my two. I'm gonna save it. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go with my 4. He's gonna be the power forward for our team. He's the Terminator. And he will be back. Give me Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Well, basketball wise, you might win. You got a big guy.
Yep.
Well, Cadena, who you got?
I'm surprised I didn't think of this one sooner, but I'm gonna go with arguably one of the greatest players of all time, one of the greatest leaders, greatest scorers, Wilt Chamberlain.
Oh, damn. Alright, you might have won actually basketball wise.
Yeah.
But,
That's a good one.
alright, now at my 3, very versatile. He can be in a rap song of Justin Bieber, or he can be in a song of Taylor Swift. He had that red hair, Ed Sheeran.
Ooh. That's a good one. That's a good one. Alright, for my next person. I was talking to Shelby about this earlier. Well, this will bring back some middle school days. But we all remember the famous movie Pitch Perfect. Let's bring out the cup song. Give me Anna Kendrick.
Damn. I love that cup song. I love Pitch Perfect 1, 2, and 3. I could sing that shit with my eyes closed.
Right.
But, yeah. Alright, Cadena. Who you got?
See, this one's tough. I'm gonna go with another great leader, somebody that has impacted millions. I'm going Walt Disney.
Damn. Damn, that's a good one. Fuck, alright.
He worships Satan though, so that's a problem.
Yeah, he wasn't very friendly to the Jews.
That's right. Hey, he didn't leave many people in. It was very controversial.
We got Hitler and yeah. So,
Alright, I'd rather have Walt Disney than Adolf. You can
I mean, at least Disney like made a theme park and that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, Hitler had a theme park like dead people, but.
Jesus.
Oh, jeez. This podcast is going a different way today.
Yeah, we're going dark here.
But alright, I'm bringing the Scarlet Witch, you know,
Ooh.
Elizabeth Olsen, baby, at my 4.
Yep. That's a good one. That's a good one. Give me. Oh gosh. I'm going big here. This guy I think is going to do well against Wilt Chamberlain. He's a wrestler though. Give me Andre the Giant.
Damn, that's kind of. He died a while ago, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. He was a giant.
He was a giant.
Alright, Cadena, your last starter.
Alright, I need somebody that can shit talk, somebody that's funny, a comedian, get in the opponent's head. So I'm gonna go with comedian. You guys might know, but Wanda Sykes.
Yep. That's a good one. Well, today I'm copying you. I'm going with a comedian also. Very famous. You know, he's Donkey. So, Eddie Murphy.
Good one. Good one. Good one. All right. I need to bring some more controversy on this. Let's get the guy who was immunized and not vaccinated. Give me Aaron Rodgers.
The dark place.
Yep.
Alright, now we have our bench, 3 bench players. Cadena, who you got?
Oh gosh, this is tough because I kind of went in the well of all the W's. You know what I'm gonna go with? I'm gonna go with a Today Show, or daytime TV. Somebody that can talk really well, do things. I'm going Wendy Williams.
That's a good one.
She's like off-brand Oprah.
Great value. Well, I don't know if you guys know him, but he's probably the most famous soccer player right now in the world. Very young, very long blonde hair. I'm going Erling Haaland.
Heard about him today. He is back from a 2-month injury.
Correct.
Old Holland. Yep, I know who that is. You know what? Let's just keep up on the controversy here with my A team. I'm gonna bring another athlete in here, and this man is famous for, leaving the game in the middle of the game, taking off his jersey, throwing it into the fans. Give me Antonio Brown.
Good pick.
There's going to be a lot of drama up in the headspace there, CTE.
Facts.
But hey, it might be a good locker room presence. Well, he doesn't give a shit what he says to the owner.
That's
so,
facts.
But I don't know how Adolf Hitler might go head to head.
Yeah.
Well, you got Schwarzenegger to break it up, and then you got Andre the Giant to break it up, and then you got Eric Kendrick to sing.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then Adam Sandler makes some jokes. I like your team. Very diverse. You got some killers on there, literally on and off the court.
Facts.
All right,
Okay.
Cadena, who's your second bench player?
I'm gonna go with a underrated football guy. I'm gonna go Patriots dynasty. Wes Welker.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
I'm surprised you haven't gone. There's an A out there that was
I just
quite the killer.
as soon as you guys, I got it.
Listen, I'm not telling you how to draft your team. How to
No,
run your team.
that was my next pick. Trust
Oh,
me.
gotcha. Okay.
I literally just remembered.
All right, with my second bench player, I'm picking her because she deserves more light. She got screwed over in Amazing Spider-Man 2. She shouldn't have died this fucking way.
Mhm.
They need to re-script her. Emma Stone.
Who did you just pick? You know,
Wes Welker.
Wes Welker. Oh yeah. Someone picked another guy who was on the Patriots dynasty, who was also a killer. And we talked about not being in the right headspace. I don't know if this guy was in the right headspace either, but R.I.P. the King. Give me Aaron Hernandez.
You got a lot of fucking killers, man. I fucking love that team, actually. Damn.
Oh, God.
I'm surprised he won this late. But hey, he's
know,
coming
right?
off the bench. He's going straight for the guns and throats. Might try to hide it in a phone, but...
Yeah.
All right. This wraps up the last player now, Cadena. Who you got?
All right, so I'm gonna go with another athlete, arguably one of the greatest running backs of all time, Walter Payton.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
All right. Well, for my last bench player, I'm going to a guy that's... He hasn't had that many great seasons, but he's the GOAT's kryptonite, Eli Manning.
Oh, the Goat Slayer.
That's a good pick.
That's a good pick. All right, and then for my last pick, I just got to pick someone very famous and well known. I think she was on a couple lists of the most beautiful women of all time at her time. Married to Brad Pitt, I think. Give me Angelina Jolie.
That's a good one.
That's a good pick.
Damn, I wanted you to kill like another like killer or some shit.
I had to bring it down. We need to get some more diverse. Maybe she'll calm the room.
I mean, I
All
hope.
the eyes would be on her, that's for sure.
Right?
No, that's true. Alright, that wraps up our draft. I was gonna go over everyone, but just listen closely from earlier. But yeah, go and vote. I like everyone's team. Cadena got a lot of the old people. I got a mix, and then Jigu has the straight fucking killers who are now dead or in jail or some shit. But yeah, alright, what do you guys want to start off with? We got a lot. We got NBA, NFL, or college. Cadena, your choice.
Oh, you know what? After this past week, getting my heart ripped out, let's go NFL.
Alright, well, I'll just go first. Me and Jake watched it live. Chiefs, they're the next dynasty. I don't care what anyone says. If you look at the stats from the Patriots from 2014 to like 18, they did the same amount of Super Bowls, and you say that is the last dynasty before. And if they win, that just shows how amazing they are. This will be the first since the Patriots for back-to-back?
If they win, yes.
Yeah, if they win.
Which they have to be the favorites to win, I would assume, right?
I think the 49ers are.
1.5 point favorites.
Really? See,
Yeah.
Greg, call me biased, but being a Lions fan, they don't impress me at all. But who knows? Maybe Brock Purdy, maybe he throws up a master class and they can win it. I think that's tough.
Yeah. I'm rolling with my Chiefs, obviously. Mahomes and Kelsey are back. You can see Scantlin's actually catching balls. Great thing for Tony out, even though he might not be hurt, but the Chiefs look like the Chiefs again, so that's all I gotta say.
Do you got any thoughts on that game, Cadena?
Yeah, I watched it live. Lamar Jackson never looked comfortable really throughout that game. Some of his craziest plays were one where the ball was literally tipped. He caught it after throwing it and then ran 15 yards. That D-line did a really good job of containing him and getting pressure from the edge, and he just never looked. He just never looked right the whole game. Which I wish he could have played that way when he played the Lions earlier in the year. But yeah, credit to that Chiefs defense. They're young. I think they're the youngest defense in the league, and they have nothing but dudes on that side of the ball. So it'll be an interesting matchup to go against the 49ers, see how that rolls.
Yeah, I agree. I think, obviously, like, Cam and I were sitting there, we were watching the game, and it was like we were waiting for the Ravens to get going like they have been all season, but they just can't. We've been talking about all season how the Kansas City offense hasn't been the same. You're a defensive team, and it started to click in the playoffs when it mattered. Mahomes, I feel like he could have took shots down the field to players, but he'd be forcing it, and I think he's starting to learn, like, hey, I have all the natural talent, but I don't need to force this ball. He's got that almost Brady effect where, like, I need to make the plays that's necessary for us to win. It could be ugly. We only won by 7, but we're still in the Super Bowl. So
But if you look at those Patriot dynasties, they were almost all of them were led by fantastic defense. And I think the Chiefs team this year is a lot more in line with the Patriot teams in the sense they have a great quarterback, a great tight end, and they have some receivers that can make plays, right? And you know, they're by no means top 10, top 15 guys, but, you know, they can make some plays too. I mean, everyone talks about, Valdez Scantling. You know, he looked like shit week 1. Everyone, was giving him, Kadarius Toney. I mean, they were giving them all a lot of crap for how they played, and, you know, he's the reason why they're playing, in a couple weeks in the Super Bowl. So, it'll be, personally, I think it'll be really interesting to see how the 49ers offense reacts, because we also saw 49ers defense. It's
nothing to be special about.
No, I mean, you got D end and Chase Young who is taking plays off.
Right.
You saw it on the Gibbs touchdown.
Right.
Where he literally just walked the whole time. So it'll be interesting. I think it'll be a good matchup, but you got to favor the Chiefs, right? I mean, they've been here before. They've done this. I mean, it's tough to bet against Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, you would think, and it's just it was a game, and I think looking at it now, I think realistically, as much as we're Lions fans, we'll get into them next, but like I think this is probably the best matchup. The two 49ers have been that best team in the NFC all year long, and then Kansas City they weren't, but then they turned up when they needed to, because they have that guy, and defensively they looked all world, and I just think for the Ravens, I mean, they were such a good team. They wanted to assert their dominance, but they didn't. They can't. They haven't been here before. You know, Zay Flowers diving from the end zone. He didn't need to do that. Fumble the ball. All those unnecessary penalties that Kyle Van Noy goes up and touches the guy. When Zay Flowers caught that deep pass, he looks over him, throws the ball at him, whatever he did. Got that penalty. And then obviously the interception in the end zone that Lamar had. I mean, the dude, it was predetermined. As a quarterback, you know when you're predetermined. Like, when I played football, I predetermined a lot because Mr. Cadena was the only guy in the line that covered my ass. Everyone else didn't do shit. So I'd be like, all right, where's Ethan Flores? Where's Corioline? Where's Eric Stewart? I'm going to find him and I'm going to throw him the ball. Yeah. That's when you done that play. Obviously, likely you want to get him for the end zone, but 3 guys were on him. That's not ever going to get caught. And you knew he was pissed because he's like, well, I didn't actually read. I think they'll be back. Obviously, they lost their defense coordinator, who's a dog, a really good coach. But we'll see what happens. I'm curious how the Super Bowl is going to go.
I think, to your point, though, too, on that play where he threw the interception, that play, Odell Beckham Jr. is really slow off the line. That play is designed for Odell Beckham Jr. to basically, if Odell Beckham Jr. does a full sprint like he should, that high safety that's up top, that's over top, is going to automatically draw into Odell Beckham Jr., which then is going to leave, who was it? I don't even remember who was running the route because it got
Blakely.
Was it Blakely?
Yeah, the tight end.
Yeah, so Blakely was open. If Odell Beckham Jr. runs the route how he's supposed to, runs it hard, that safety has to account for Odell, which that means he can't come over and make the pick.
Right.
So I mean, I think that's a part of it. You just got some, veteran guys that just aren't giving effort like they should, and we're gonna blame that on Lamar. I mean, I see what he's doing. I see the read that he's making, because he's assuming that Odell is gonna keep that safety over top, keep him to the side so that the middle's open, and he doesn't. If you watch the play, he just walks, and then the safety ends up creeping over and making the pick.
Right.
So.
Right.
And I think Lamar just threw the ball when he should have ran, and then he ran when he probably should have thrown. I think he should have actually ran more. He's playing scared, like you said. He didn't look like it was himself, but.
I got one thing to say.
Alright.
But also, like, the biggest takeaway from that game that I think we all need to realize is that Baltimore was the #1 run team in the league, and they did not run the ball. Gus Edwards only had like 3 or 4 carries. When he had 1 carry for 15 yards, he broke through. I'm like, oh shit, they're going to get going. They never did. So it's going to be some looking this offseason. What can we do to get better? But they just need to stick to their game plan, run the damn ball, because Chiefs' defense is good in the back end, but you can run on them. I mean, we saw with the Lions. They ran on them with Montgomery and Gibbs. He didn't play as much as he has the past couple weeks, obviously. But biggest thing for them, I think Lamar, obviously, he's probably going to win MVP this year, and deserving so. I mean, they're the best team in the league. They proved by beating the 49ers. But when playoffs happen, I think he's got to turn it around. But again, same thing I'm going to say with the Lions when we get there. They've never been in that position before. They'll be back.
So, yeah, Lions blow a 17-point lead. The third quarter, it has just killed them all year. So, Cadena, take it away.
Yeah, that was tough. I watched it with my nephew and my brother-in-law. I've finally got my nephew to be a Lions fan. He's 8 years old. So this year's been fun because every game I watched with him, we've won. And as a Lions fan, I'm not used to a whole lot of winning. Mm-hmm. And so my nephew's been really invested this year with the Lions. So I was watching it with them. I had a conversation with a good friend of mine who I said I almost wish, a part of me almost wishes that the Lions had gotten blown out, because when you get so close, and you have a team that does everything that they can, and they work hard, and it's still not good enough, it hurts. As a fan, like going into halftime, I'm not gonna lie, I'm like, holy shit, we're about to go to the Super Bowl. I mean, no team at that point had lost a 17-point lead in the NFC Championship game. Teams were 22-0 at that. Now 22-1, with the one being the Lions.
It would be the Lions.
But I also don't agree with the whole same old Lions stick where here's the Lions go again. I mean, they're a year ahead of schedule. Nobody expected them to be in this position.
That's what Jake has been saying.
Nobody expected to. I mean, I get the 4th down. People criticizing going for it on 4th down. What people fail to realize is that Michael Bagley, he from 49 yards plus. He's like 30%, 38, 40% for kick. The Lions from 4th and 3 were like 78%.
Yep.
So the conversion rate, the math says go for it. I get why people are upset about this. I'm not mad at the first 4th down.
Yeah.
It's the second one that I'm surprised people are okay with, because you're down by 3, you're in field goal range. I probably would have kicked it.
Take the points.
You take the points, tie up the game, but when you have a coach, his whole MO, the reason why you're here is that we're going to risk it. Because people forget, we don't beat
a lot of teams.
We don't beat the first team in the playoffs, the Rams, unless he throws for it. And all the football conventional wisdom says you run it there. He throws for it, gets the first down, throws it to Amon-Ra, and they win their first playoff game in over 30 years. So this team is young, and the biggest thing with me is even though it was like getting your heart ripped out and getting kicked in the nuts, this team's young. You look at all the playmakers the Lions have. Jared Goff, he's still young, right? We go even younger. Amon-Ra, Penei Sewell, Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta. And then you've got, great offensive linemen and Frank Ragnow and Taylor Decker, guys that are going to be around for, a couple more years. Then defensively, Aiden Hutchinson, Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch, Alex Anzalone. I mean, they have some dudes. If they can get another edge rusher and then another corner to give Cam Sutton some help, I think that'll be a huge for them. And, I made a bet with somebody that I believe the Lions will be in the Super Bowl in the next 5 years. And if I were a betting man, I'd bet they'd win a Super Bowl in the next 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
I think they have the core to do it. But yeah, what'd you guys think of the going for it on 4th?
All I gotta say is, like you said, that's what got them there. And then people need to realize, like, it's not like the play was fucking horrible. Like, they didn't get anything off. He dropped the pass.
Right.
Who was it, Reynolds?
Yeah.
Like, the play, it worked. The receivers he didn't catch it.
Right.
And that's part of the game. You saw the Chiefs, fucking mistakes happen. And like you said, they're a year ahead of schedule. I guarantee next year in that same position, he's catching it. Scantling proved it last week game against the Ravens. I trust the Lions.
Yeah. So yeah, you're 100% right. Everything you said. Like, we're a year scheduled. No one expected us to be this far. I was expecting, if we go 10-7, win a playoff game, I'm satisfied. We win the division, win the first 2 playoff games. And actually, this team has played a lot better than what they were expected to do. We will be back because after the game, Dan Campbell said in his post-game press conference, he said, hey, this could have been our only shot. And I told the guys that in the locker room, this could be our only shot. Because it is. You think about the Eagles last year. You think about other teams. I mean, the Jaguars made the AFC Championship game a couple years ago. The Titans made the AFC Championship game, but they haven't been back. But because your coach has been through that, and he knows that, and the core we have in place, they want to be back, and they felt what it's like to get there. Now they know they need to step it up another level. You can't tell me Amon-Ra St. Brown's not going to be catching 300 balls every day. You're not telling me Penei Sewell's not going to bench another fucking 5 reps. Like, this is a good team, and they're built for this, and I think that they're a year ahead of schedule. It's also another thing, we didn't even talk about this yet. I mean, Ben Johnson's coming back. That is huge. That's huge for Jared Goff. That's huge for Samuel Porter. That's huge for Jahmyr Gibbs, for Amon-Ra. I mean, even Jameson Williams, this was like his breakout game, and we've been waiting for him for 2 years. Give him a whole offseason with them. Dude, this team's going to be unstoppable offensively. Problem is defense. We are missing another edge rusher. We're missing, I'd say, even 2 corners. We had a guy starting in the NFC Championship game who was in the fucking team when the season started. Kendall Vildor came off the practice squad that we stole from, I think, the Bears or someone, middle of the season. And Sutton, I think he's a good number 2. We need to get a lockdown guy, and I think that's something that we all trust Brad Holmes. We all trust Dan Campbell. We look at the past drafts that he had. Hit, barely any misses.
Yeah.
So I just think, we're a year ahead of schedule, like you said. They have the right guys in place where we can go back here and dominate. And we need, I'd say, 2 to 3 corners just for depth and get another edge rusher or 2, and we can address that in the draft in this offseason. I think it'll be huge. It's going to be very curious of what we're going to do because you bring back C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Do you bring back a Josh Reynolds? Do you bring back some of those guys that came in this year or a couple years? But, I mean, we didn't see C.J. Gardner-Johnson all year. Could that leadership or the way he plays, could that help us out in the long run? Brian Branch, another year better. All these young guys that we have, they're only going to get better. And I would take your bet, too. The next 5 years, we will be in the Super Bowl and we will win because of what happened this past season.
Yeah, well, and the biggest thing is, though, too, is you look at who's running the organization. Like Sheila Ford Hamp, I don't think gets enough credit on how she's led this team. And the biggest part is that owners, they have big egos, right? Mm-hmm. They got big wallets, big egos. You don't really see that with Sheila. She surrounds herself with people that she trusts and what they do well at, and she lets them do it. Mm-hmm. She surrounds herself in the coaching circle with guys like Chris Spielman and some others that know what they're doing. Right? And she trusts them, and they trust her. And, getting Brad Holmes is huge. Mm-hmm. Like, this is the first Lions team I can remember to where top to bottom, we have a GM that is hitting a ton. He has some misses on there. Like, Josh Pascal probably isn't who we thought he would be, but he's still as of right now, he's still productive. Right. But there's no doubt in my mind. I mean, Brian Branch sliding down into the second round and picking him up. Ooh. Huge. Sam Laporta. Everyone said that it was going to be Michael Mayer or Dalton Kincaid were the 2 best tight ends. Yeah. Sam Laporta. Why would you draft a guy from Iowa that hardly passed the ball? He didn't really score touchdowns. Well, no, because he's a dog.
Top 3 tight end in the league.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's huge. If I were the Lions, the biggest thing that I'm doing is I am finding an edge rusher in free agency. Mm-hmm. The reason why Cam Sutton looked rough in games was that they couldn't get pressure on the quarterback. So now they're sending corners and safeties to blitz off the edge. When you do that, you are now saying your number 1 guy, hey, we're going to put you on an island, basically hold on. Mm-hmm. And when, Cam Sutton can do that with most receivers, but when he's got to go CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson twice, the kid from BYU that's playing Puka Nacua. Mike Evans. I mean, he had an onslaught.
Brandon Ayuk.
I mean, he had an onslaught of receivers that he had to go up against. And that's why I think he's a great number 2 guy, not number 1 guy. Because I don't care what you say. You're in the playoffs, you're a good football team. Right. And you're going to have to beat good football teams. And this team has proven that they can. They can swing the bat with the biggest of them, and kudos to the 49ers. They just made more plays.
Yeah, I'm just looking at possible free agents this offseason. It's not really a sexy list. We got Leonard Williams for Seattle, who they traded earlier this season from the Giants. You probably don't want to re-sign him. Daniil Hunter is going to be 30 years old. Carl Lawson for the Jets. Randy Gregory, Marcus Davenport, Zadarius Smith, Yannick Ngakoue, Chase Young. I mean, it's not a sexy list, but I mean, you can easily pick up a guy or two that you can revolve in. Like, obviously, we see with even the 49ers, they have all those guys in the D-line. They haven't produced, they're big names, but you can just keep bringing in guys all throughout each edge. Let Hutchinson eat on the right side and have guys come in. I think we'll be all right. But, yeah, I agree with you. We're a year ahead, and we'll be back, baby. We'll be back.
Oh, absolutely.
But that was probably the biggest heartache I've ever felt. When we went for that 4th and 3, and it was a broken play, and we missed when Jared missed Amon-Ra. I mean, I knew it was over. I went texted Cam. I was like, yeah, that was it right there, man. It was 7 minutes left in the game. He knew it. Dan Campbell, you live by the sword, you die by the sword, and I love it. People that are criticizing him obviously haven't been watching the Lions all year and don't realize what's actually going on, because he's been getting a lot of hate in the media. But he's a true leader of men, and he trusts his players, which a lot of guys don't.
Yeah, well, and a question too is, how many of those decisions are his? I mean, he's the one that's going to take the brunt force of it.
Right.
Like, is it Ben Johnson saying, hey, let's go for it, and he's trusting Ben Johnson? Because I know part of being a leader is that when your team falls short, you take the brunt of the blame. Or is Ben Johnson his earpiece saying, hey, let's kick it? Like, I don't know what that, I'd love to be the fly on the wall or the fly on the headset that can listen to the conversations that they're having with each other. Because I've always wondered, like, some of the decisions, like going for a fake punt, is that Dan Campbell saying, hey, we need to go for it? Or is it Dan Campbell saying, hey, you know what? You decide. I'm going to trust you're going to make the right decision. Which I don't know, because he's really not involved much in the play calling. He's not calling the offense.
Right.
So when they run it on 3rd and 13, 3rd and 18 with, I forget which one, but with Jahmyr Gibbs, everyone said that's a great play call by Dan Campbell. Well, is it? Or was it, I've always wondered if maybe some of the hate that he's getting is just him owning up to maybe some of his assistants making poor decisions.
Right.
I don't know, like, football, I've never played it, but wouldn't Campbell have the final say, though? Like,
Absolutely.
So, like, it's still on him.
Absolutely. If he doesn't want to go for it, they won't go for it.
Yeah, so that's just part of, like you said, being a leader. You're going to take, if your employee messes up, you're going to have to take it. Like, you're the man in charge. Customer or whoever, the media will come complain to you. But, yeah, that's interesting. I wish they were mic'd up and just leak it. Someone leak it. Someone hack something.
Right.
But I just have a hot take real quick.
Okay.
Out of nowhere.
Okay.
I'm taking Brock Purdy over Lamar Jackson. I think Brock Purdy's better.
Whoa.
Listen, I think we've seen
what
Lamar
Flip this
Jackson.
one.
I think Brock Purdy's better than Lamar Jackson. Already in Brock Purdy's 2nd year, he's already broken Lamar's passing record for a season. And it's only his 2nd year. I know he has a lot of options and like weapons, but you still have to make those throws. And he already has a higher completions rating, 69%, while Lamar's highest was 67. And Lamar's only in his 6th year, and he hasn't even made a Super Bowl yet. And Brock Purdy has, and he has 31 touchdowns in his 2nd year.
Okay, there's a great Office quote that comes to mind just listening to you talk, and it's, "Have you lost your damn mind? Because I will help you find it."
Listen, you can go first. I'll get him afterwards. You're getting attacked on this. You're not winning this.
You can't win this. So Brock Purdy, if you look at his stats in the first half, was abysmal. His quarterback rating was in the mid to high 30s. He played atrocious. Even in the second half with Brandon Ayuk, one of his 51 yards that he had, it should have been picked by Vildor. If Vildor had any hand-eye coordination, that's a pick, and that changes the game. They're going to dump my mind. Brock Purdy is better than the game manager everyone says he is. I will give you that.
Yep.
He can play football. He can move. He can do some things. But he's not even better than Kirk Cousins.
I think he is better than
I don't think so. I think he is a top, I don't want to say 15, because I feel like I can name 15 quarterbacks. I think he's a little bit better than Gardner Minshew, if I had to guess. He's going to win you some football games, but you switch Jared Goff and him on that team. Jared Goff is slinging it. He's an MVP.
I would say Purdy would have led the Lions to win that game, actually.
See,
If you were watching the game, I think it was like fourth quarter. He scrambled down and made like a fucking crazy ass throw, and actually made the throw. I haven't seen Lamar do that in the playoffs.
Yes, in the playoffs. Okay,
that's why I'm taking him, because I just believe if you can do it in the playoffs, that's all that matters. That's why Peyton Manning will never caught up to Brady, because he might have a better regular season. That's why he has more MVPs. But in the playoffs, he would just choke. That's why he has 2-7. And
part of that too, though, who had the better defenses though with the Brady Manning? Right?
Oh yeah.
I don't, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't have it in front of me, but I want to say every year Brady won a Super Bowl, he had a top 10 defense.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge Peyton Manning fan, but I can admit to that. Like, just push it through.
Yeah, when you're talking about the GOAT conversation, you there's more than just regular season stats. It's, it's not all Super Bowls either, right? Because, we're championships. Because you look at guys in the NBA who's won all these championships, right? But we all know LeBron James is the greatest basketball player of all time.
I just gotta say it loud and clear. Michael Jordan is the best basketball player of all time. Jacob, you heard that?
I heard that. I'm going at
Yeah, because
if you are in a pickup basketball game in the backyard and you got Michael Jordan and LeBron James, you are picking LeBron James every time. Same way with Calvin Johnson and Randy Moss. You're playing backyard football and it's your turn to pick, and you got Calvin Johnson and Randy Moss. You are picking Calvin Johnson every day.
I agree with that, but for basketball, who gets ball first? Because if Jordan gets ball first, I'm taking Jordan.
See, I don't think Jordan can. LeBron is bigger. He's a better passer.
All right, we're talking one-on-one though.
I'm talking one-on-one. LeBron's bigger. He really has bigger size. He's gonna bang him down, and then he's dunking on Jordan, and you're gonna see Jordan like this underneath the hoop, just like that.
It depends on who gets the ball first. If Jordan has the ball first, no one's stopping that fadeaway. If LeBron can stop Kobe on a fadeaway, he ain't stopping Jordan.
Well, I didn't realize Kobe and.
Oh yeah, because Kobe's I would say fucking better than LeBron too.
Well,
so
see, okay,
He's just. Oh, we're gonna get some good clips this week.
yeah, I'm gonna pray for you.
Hey, you guys still going? I gotta get at you about this Lamar and Brock Purdy take.
all right, well yeah. Did you hear me say about the playoffs?
I heard what you said about the playoffs, and I will give you that about the playoffs, but I really think you're just trying to stir the pot. I don't think you genuinely believe Brock Purdy is better than Lamar Jackson, because coming out of the gate, his biggest highlights when Lamar was in high school. We haven't heard about Brock Purdy the last fucking years. The last pick.
I can't even say
irrelevant. Yes, it was the last pick of the draft. When Lamar came into Louisville and brought them into a top 5 team because of how he played. Yes, he ran all over. He looks like a wide receiver out there running, and he's fast as shit. I agree. But when it comes to a pure quarterback, Lamar's going to win his second MVP. He won it in his second year. Like, Brock Purdy was in that conversation, but I would say Lamar never had a game where Brock Purdy had against the Ravens this year. Threw 4 picks, looked like complete dog shit. I mean, even against the Minnesota Vikings, Brock Purdy looked like dog shit. For this first half of the Lions game, he looked like dog shit. I wouldn't say Lamar's ever looked like dog shit like that. He hasn't played his best, but he just knows how to win. He knows how to play the right way. When he won his MVP, he led the league in passing touchdowns, plus running for 1,200 yards.
I agree with that, but is he in the Super Bowl?
He hasn't yet, but it's also around the team, and you can't tell me there's a team that's built better than the 49ers right now. You have let's just count right now. You have all-time offensive tackle Trent Williams. You have George Kittle, arguably the best tight end in the league right now, or second best. You have Christian McCaffrey, not even arguably the best running back in the league. Deebo Samuel, the best running back, wide receiver we may have ever seen because of what he can do best. Brandon Ayuk, second team All-Pro. And then let's go to the defensive end. You have Nick Bosa, defensive player of the year. You have the best linebacker crew possibly in Dre Greenlaw and with Fred Warner. And then on the corners, you had an All-Pro and Javarius Ward. And in your safeties, before he got hurt, Fununga looked like Troy Polamalu 2.0. You put Lamar Jackson on the Ravens, that team's going undefeated and winning 7 Super Bowls in a row.
All I gotta say though is 49ers aren't the best team, because you wanna know why? They're gonna lose to the Chiefs. And then it's gonna be the same thing. They both lost to the Chiefs.
I do have a question for you, because your take reminds me of one that I heard on TikTok from a comedian about, he's talking about Baltimore Raven fans.
Oh, man.
And he goes, yeah, Lamar Jackson, he's special, but there was something special about Joe Flacco. and that's all I can think is that like it's like that white Baltimore trash that's like there's just something the way Joe Flacco threw that ball that just I don't know, it's just something different. And I think we all know what's different about Joe Flacco and Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, he's better. He did it in the playoffs, right?
He did.
Joe Flacco did.
He had one good run.
And what you said about MVPs, yeah, Lamar has more than Brock Purdy, but that's the same thing with Peyton Manning. He has more than Brady. Is he better? No.
It's the same situation with the team-wise, though. I mean, Brady's always been on a better team, better defense. I heard you say that earlier.
Yeah.
The way that the game is played, Peyton Manning killed everyone with his brain and with his arm.
Yeah.
Brady was surrounded by good people, and he was surrounded by decent players. He never had a Marvin Harrison besides Randy Moss, I'll say that. Running back-wise, he never had who they had, Edgerrin James. I mean, offensive lines, but he never had the defense. So Peyton Manning, you can say, could be a better quarterback without the rings. I mean, that's an argument that will go down in history.
Yeah, it's because there's two types of conversation you're having when you're talking about where players rank, right? Is when you play a team sport. I mean, Calvin Johnson is arguably the greatest wide receiver of all time, and that's who I believe it is.
I agree.
Because just what he was able to do. Now, did he win as much as Randy Moss? No. But it also wasn't his fault that he played for an organization prior to the last couple of years that was absolute dog shit in the Lions. I mean, the Lions have been bad for ages. The fact that they haven't, we're talking last time they won a championship was in the 50s when, Eisenhower was in office. I mean, that's tough. And so when you're talking about the greatest of all time, I think a little bit of part of it is your postseason success. Like when your team needs you, do you turn it on? I think that's important.
Yeah.
But at the same time too though, is that like, who would you rather have at quarterback? I mean, I'll say right now, Patrick Mahomes.
Oh yeah, Mahomes.
Or Tom Brady.
Mahomes.
Who are you picking? And I'm talking in their prime. I'm not even talking about.
I'm saying Mahomes all day.
You have to take Mahomes, right? Because what he's able to do. But Mahomes isn't the greatest quarterback of all time. He's working his way there.
He's second.
He's top three. He's top.
If he wins, he's second.
If he wins, I think that's a big part of his legacy.
He's second.
But I'm talking about the greatest quarterback, the greatest thrower of the football that can move and do what he does. He might be the greatest quarterback of all time, position-wise. Mm-hmm. If you had to do a fantasy draft or a mock draft and you had to pick your team backyard football, you're probably picking Patrick Mahomes with your first pick if you have the greats, the great quarterbacks there as well.
I agree with the quarterback thing. Well, no, I agree with the wide receiver thing. I think you can be the best wide receiver just looking at the stats like Calvin Johnson. But I think quarterback, you have to look at the rings and the playoff success as well. Because they're the ones that throw the ball. I understand the defense and all that, and like football's probably the biggest team sport. You can argue a lot different in basketball because one man in basketball can fucking take a shitty Cavs team with Walmart employees and fucking almost win game one against the Warriors. But no, J.R. Smith had too much fucking Henny and you want to go look at a fucking girl in the stands. Well, that's a whole different story.
That'd be a fun game, trying to name all the players from that 08 Cavs team that made the finals.
Oh, I know
not name Verjao. I mean,
Iglesias or whatever the way.
I mean, honestly, a lot of those guys. I mean, they went from what they went. Was it 60 games or 58? It
was like 60 games.
It was right there, and then all they lose is LeBron, and all of a sudden they're the worst team in the league. And so I agree that basketball is a different animal when it comes to that. But it's also, I mean, let's be honest, Michael Jordan's the East was kind of lacking a little bit. I mean, I think LeBron has had to go through better teams, honestly.
Yeah, I think LeBron also had more help though, if you look at all of his teammates combined. But I don't like comparing generations because every new generation is going to be better.
Well, there's different rules too because back in Jordan's day, you weren't allowed to double team.
Well, and then there was hand checking too.
Yeah, but the game was a little bit more physical. You could punch somebody in the face and the official would just let it go. Now you look at somebody wrong and they're blowing the whistle.
Who was it? It was a player that got teed up. He just handed the ball to the ref. And there's a girl in the street. I don't know if it hit her in the kiss or some shit, but she got all mad and teased. Who was it?
It's because women are emotional. I mean, you guys know, you guys got longtime girlfriends, right? Like, they're emotional people, and sometimes they let that get the best of them.
Jacob, do you want to say if girls are emotional?
Yes, but I can also say that I'm an emotional person as well. So I would say I'm probably the emotional one in my relationship if I have to say that. That's all I gotta say. I love you, honey.
Yeah, I agree. Morgan wears pants. I think everyone knows this. That knows us.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love you, Morgan. I cry like a bitch. So. But all right, got a little off topic. For some reason, these two hooligans think LeBron's better, but it's a different
Oh,
story.
I got one thing to say before we leave. All right, so while you guys were going on your spiels for a second, I was pulling up some stats, and as much as I love Calvin Johnson, I do think he's the greatest talent at wide receiver ever. I still think Jerry Rice is a go, and I don't think it's going to be possible for anyone to take that from him. Just looking at his stats, I mean, I'm just going to give you his accolades real quick. He's a 3-time Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP, 2-time AP Offensive Player of the Year, 10-time first-team All-Pro, 1-time second All-Pro, 13-time Pro Bowler, 6-time NFL leader, 2-time NFL reception leader, 6-time NFL receiving touchdown leader, and he was NFL scoring leader in 1987. Calvin Johnson, real quick, obviously a shorter career, we can say that, and he didn't have the talent, but he was a 3-time first-team All-Pro, 1-time second-team, 6-time Pro Bowler, 2-time NFL receiving leader, reception leader 1 time, and a receiving touchdown co-leader 1 time. Just, I will agree that he was the best talent and freak show we've ever seen, and obviously, realistically, Calvin Johnson still could be playing right now. He's 38 right now. I think Jerry Rice played until he was damn near fucking 40. So I mean, if Calvin Johnson stayed on the pace, I think he would have gotten more of the accolades. But from where the time is at, I would have to say Jerry Rice is still the GOAT receiver. Calvin Johnson's top
but the conversation has changed though, because remember when Calvin Johnson retired, the whole conversation about Matthew Stafford was, oh, Calvin Johnson just made him. He just threw it up to Calvin Johnson. And now look where the conversation with Matthew Stafford is, where it's, hey, this dude can sling the football. He's one of the greatest passers in the league.
They won a Super Bowl.
They won a Super Bowl. Like, and he does. He is Mahomes-esque with his release of the ball.
Right.
So that's when everyone was freaking out about Mahomes doing this. It's like the Lions fan, like, oh, Matthew Stafford's been doing that for 5-6 years, you know?
Right. And to add on that with Matthew Stafford, as we're talking about, I might as well give him his flowers too. He's the quarterback of the wide receiver who has the most receiving yards in a single season. 16-game season, by the way, almost 1,000 yards, which has never been happened before. He's also the leader with the person who has a triple crown, which is receiving yards, touchdowns, and completions. He is the quarterback of that receiver in Cooper Cup a couple years ago. And he's thrown the ball to all-time rookie receiver in Puka Nacua with all his accolades. So give Matthew Stafford his flowers.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right.
Dan, you out? I'm out of here.
All right, well, we appreciate it. We got some good clips. You'll be seeing them on Facebook.
Shout out to Cadena's Pizza.
Cadena
Bros Pizzeria. Go get it. It's the best pizza in town.
Yes.
And I love it.
Awesome. Appreciate you guys having me.
Next time you're free, we'll get some more debates and we'll talk more
about
about Adolf Hitler and slavery and all that stuff.
Oh, listen, I'm always down for the conversation.
Oh, man. What an episode. Shit, we've already been 50 minutes in. We're not even...
We're halfway. But going back to the Calvin Johnson, Jerry Rice thing, I think you brought up a great point. Calvin Johnson, if you made a wide receiver, that's him.
Right.
But I think also a huge fact is looking at their career and their longevity. Because being accessible shows how great you are.
Right.
And Jerry Rice played till his fucking 40s. And I would say he's 1A and then Johnson's 1B.
Right.
Same thing if you look at basketball. I can admit to this. LeBron has the greatest career of all time. Because he's played for 20 years and he's been able to do it. Right. You could say Jordan's probably the best player or whatever, but you gotta look at career and longevity. Just going back to last week's episode, that's also why Jokic is still better than Embiid. Because Embiid's fucking knee hurt again. Like, you need to be able to play.
Right, exactly.
But, alright, this episode is fucking balling.
This is balling.
We're not even going about the fella yet.
No,
but, I mean, alright, so.
Let's get in.
Alright, Jim Harbaugh signed with the Chargers. I know you're a big Michigan fan.
Yep.
What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are, I think everyone saw this coming and everyone knew that this was the best move. Jim Harbaugh played for the Chargers back in the day, so he knows the ownership very well. And he said in the pregame, I think, were you there for the pregame when he was on the show, or you're not here yet on Sunday?
I wasn't here yet.
Okay, so what he said on the show is he was talking to Bill Cowher, who was the coach. He was coach for the Steelers. They won in 2006. He was head coach. Coach Cowher said to Jim Harbaugh, like, hey, why'd you come to the NFL? And Jim Harbaugh's like, I love Michigan, I love college, but I also love the NFL. And they don't have a Lombardi trophy in college, which is obviously true, but he did what he needed to do at Michigan, and I'm proud of that. And we'll just get into this. We can add this college in as well. I mean, we signed Sherrone Moore, the offensive coordinator, which he already had his job interview when he was in there for the last 3 weeks of the season. Went 3-0, played the best ball, helped us get to the national championship. So I think he's built the program in a place where he can hand it off to Sherrone Moore, and I love Sherrone Moore. He's 37, first African-American head coach at Michigan, which is going to be awesome.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he is, because I watched his press conference as well. He's the 21st head coach in Michigan football history, and is 145 years old in Michigan football. So it just shows you there's not a lot of coaches in this program. It's the storied program, most wins in college football history. And Jim, what does he need to do now? It's time to go win, and I think he will. A big thing that's not going to be talked about is our strength and conditioning coach, Ben Herbert. He was a huge part of helping grow the program and the culture at Michigan. He's a big part. If you ask any of the players, ask any of the coaches, he's the reason why we have the toughness. Also, why we didn't have a lot of people get hurt. The only person that got hurt in that final run was Zach Zincher, all-world left guard that is going to be a first. He would have been a first-round drafted because he won't be. But every other person was healthy, and unfortunately, Jim took him with the Chargers, and he's going to help. Obviously, you can't be as authoritative in the NFL as you can in college. We've seen that with coaches all before, but he's going to help grow that team better. And they're derailed with injuries all the time in the Chargers. We see it every year. Austin Eckler always gets hurt. Fucking Mike Williams got hurt the past 3 seasons. Keenan Allen and Justin Herbert broke his finger, was out the past couple weeks. So this is a win-win situation for both Harbaugh and Justin Herbert, and they're just going to grow together. And if I had to say they're going to win a championship, I believe they will, because I believe in Jim Harbaugh, and I believe you can win with the talent of Justin Herbert. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, I see Jim Harbaugh winning the Super Bowl within his contract, 5 years.
Yep.
They're going to make the playoffs next year, so
Right.
I like the move. I think it's a great fit.
What do you think is the goal this year? What are expectations as a Chargers fan? Obviously, you're in the AFC West with the Chiefs, with Sean Payton and the Broncos, and Antonio Pierce and the Raiders. I mean, you saw how they played with him. Now he's back. What do you think are realistic expectations this year for the Chargers?
Honestly, first of all, stay healthy.
Yeah,
we haven't seen them stay healthy since Herbert's been the quarterback.
Right.
And then second, because Herbert, he's his 4th year next year? Or maybe even 5th.
4th or 5th year.
But either way, he's established in the NFL as a quarterback. He hasn't had the coaches around him to be maybe a top 5, top 10 guy.
Right.
I guarantee you, though, next year he'll be out there for MVP conversations. And I say their expectations are to compete with Kansas City to win the division. Mm-hmm. I bet their final game this season will determine who wins the division between them.
What do you think record-wise? How many wins do you think he needs to hit or will hit?
I think just like the Lions this year, I think 12-5 or 11-6. Because I mean, looking at the Chiefs, they're 11-6 this year.
Right.
So yeah, I'm gonna say best 12-5. Realistically, 11-6 or 10-7.
Yeah.
Because if it's like this year in the NFL, teams are all back and forth.
Right.
You can be 11-6 like the Chiefs and win.
Right.
Or just be one game behind at 10-7.
Yeah, and I think that's realistic. I think Jim Harbaugh will come in and get 10 wins easily. It's those other wins because we've talked about all the year. The Chargers were the Cowboys of the AFC because they have all the talent, they just couldn't win. Yep. Obviously, we saw the ineptitude at the coach with Brandon Staley. We saw that all year. Like he's fucking up the games. He uses the analytics the wrong way, as Dan Campbell uses it the right way.
Yeah.
They both kind of have that thoughts, but you can tell he lost the locker room. Justin Herbert could have been the next Phillip Rivers, a great quarterback for the organization, but never had a good coach. So they know they need the Spanos, who are the owners of the Chargers, like, hey, we need to make a big splash. I don't know what the money is yet for Harbaugh, but you're going to get him paid. He's going to come in and change that program right away. And I think realistically, in the end, Jim Harbaugh's a winner. He won everywhere he was at. He won with the 49ers for a couple years, but because his disputes with the front office, he decided to leave. And it took some time at Michigan, but right away, I mean, we were 8-9 win team every single year until post-COVID when, sign stealing was happening. I think that's when we turned the program around and we had the success we did.
I mean, the 49ers, they didn't win a Super Bowl, but they were damn near close.
Yeah.
With the fucking, the power outage did help them.
Yeah,
Well, I
because
mean,
they helped them turn it around. Yeah.
Well, I mean, still though, you had Colin Kaepernick, a young one,
Right.
who's still who wasn't really fully established, but
Right.
he's a winner whenever he goes, so it's exciting. Hudson's excited.
Yeah.
But last NFL talk, the Seahawks just hired today the Ravens defensive coordinator Mike McDonald as their head coach. I don't know much about him. What are your thoughts?
So Mike McDonald is an interesting guy. If you didn't know, he was the defensive coordinator for Michigan a couple years ago.
Oh, I knew the name sounded familiar.
So this is the story of Mike McDonald. Real quick as we get ready for our break as we come up to our hour. But Mike McDonald was an assistant coach for the Ravens for a long time. COVID happened. Michigan had its worst year, 2-6. Jim went to John and said, "Hey, like I need to beat Ohio State. Your guys' defense, what you're running, like send me someone that you want. Like send me someone that I know can run my defense down here at the lower level." He said, "All right, I'll give you two guys. You have Mike McDonald or Jesse Minter. Who are you going to choose? You choose one." He said, "Well, I don't want to choose them. I like them both." He ended up going with Mike McDonald. That year was 2021. We ran off, won the Big Ten, beat Ohio State. That defense was awesome. After that, he went back up to the Ravens, and Jesse Minter, that other guy he could have picked, came back in because he went and coached in college, and he came back to Michigan and ran the defense the past couple years. Now Jesse Minter is with Harbaugh and Los Angeles Chargers. So it's all connected. The Harbaugh brothers did it, and Mike McDonald, the way he ran the defense the past couple years in Baltimore, and how he ran it in Michigan that 1 year. He's a smart dude. He knows defense. The question is, what are they going to do offensively? What are they going to do with Geno Smith? Who's their offensive coordinator going to be? It's kind of shocking because I thought maybe he was kind of a hot name, but I didn't expect him to get a job so early.
Yeah, I didn't hear his name in the rumor anywhere.
No, I didn't either. They were thinking about getting Dan Quinn. Obviously, they were maybe thinking Ben Johnson called that off. Yeah, so we'll see. I'm rooting for him. I think he's the youngest coach in the NFL right now because he's 36 years old.
I saw that.
So I'll give him a shot. And the defense is going to be nice. They have some key pieces, but they need to get better because they have Witherspoon, they have Diggs, they have Leonard Williams, they got Owe Mafe, they got Oboye Mafe. They got a lot of good talent. Let's see what they do this draft, and I expect them to be probably where they're at again this year. I don't know what's going to overtop them. You can't win with Geno Smith, in my opinion. No. So I think they're going to draft a quarterback. Where that may be, we'll see. I
think honestly the Seahawks draft a quarterback, and then you could trade Geno Smith.
You could
get those pieces that you said that you're missing.
Right.
But yeah. I'm already excited for the next NFL season.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. We haven't came into the draft or free agencies yet. That's a whole other thing.
Well, wrap up football talk. Looking at the fan question next. Andy and I said from last episode, great show. It was a great show. I think this one tops this one.
Yeah, I think so too.
And then we kind of just spoke about this.
Mm-hmm.
He asked, how scary is Jim going to be with the Chargers next year? We just said they'll compete.
Yep.
But this is interesting. Do you think he goes and gets JJ or Corum? Honestly, I don't think he gets JJ because you have Herbert.
Yeah.
But Corum, Eckler's hurt all the time.
That's what I'm saying. He wanted to get traded this past year, so there's a likelihood that Eckler's not going to come back. So yes, I think Corum, for sure, if he's there, Harbaugh's going to want to take him because he was with him for 4 years. He's truly a legend at Michigan. Corum is. I think JJ's a first-round talent. Someone's going to take a shot. He's still only 20. He just turned 21.
He's a baby.
So someone's going to take him and develop him. There's no point to develop him when you have Herbert. But Corum, for sure, I believe it will be on Harbaugh's radar.
Honestly, I don't know how much of a comparison this is, but I feel like if you compared Corum to running back in the league,
it's all Eckler.
It's Eckler.
Yeah, 100%.
They're both shorter, stockier. They're not super fast.
Yep.
But they're just good runners.
100%.
Those gaps. And then the second part of this question, can we see Bill Belichick just being a defensive coordinator? I want to say yes, but then again, I feel like anywhere you go, it's going to be awkward. It's fucking Bill Belichick.
Right.
You might as well just make him be the fucking head coach.
Right. And I think it's the same thing. He did it in his early days with the Giants where he won a couple Super Bowls, but you can't see that nowadays. Bill Belichick needs to run the show. The problem with this offseason is no one wanted to give him the keys to run the show. Because realistically, you have Bill Belichick for maybe 3 years because he wants to break that record and he's out of there. So do you want to give everything up for 3 years or you go get a young guy and grow with him as it goes? So I don't see him being a coordinator who's going to take a year back like Sean Payton did, get the pick of the litter next year.
That wraps up the NFL talk. We're going to take a short break, so listen to these tunes.
Nice.
This is a good episode, bro.
This is a good episode.
I think we're going to get down to Hitler.
There was a lot of freaking aliens, man. Oh, I had to. That was funny.
Alright, welcome to episode 30, the Steph Curry episode. We got a great fucking guest today. We got.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Alright, welcome back to that little short intermission. Huge talk for the NBA. Luka Doncic dropped 73 points on the anniversary of when Kobe dropped 81.
Crazy.
It just meant to be. I actually saw some stats in saying that Luka's 73 was more impressive because he did less shots and a higher percentage.
Interesting.
I don't know if it's more impressive. I feel like the league's been a lot different now.
Right.
You can say the defense is way weaker.
Right.
But
100%.
I just think that shows that Luka he's a top player in the NBA.
Oh, for sure. And I think it's just insane to see 73. People are dropping points all over the place, which I think helps Kobe's argument for 81 because there is no defense. I mean, we're going to talk about D-Book. We talk about Joel Embiid dropping 70, and then you had obviously Cat dropped 6. So, I mean, people are dropping points everywhere. I saw a highlight today where Luka did a little turnaround jumper, and someone thought he was going to jump, so we got out of the way. And then Luka was like, all right, I'm going to shoot this. Wait, no one's at the basket. Let me take one step forward and lay it in. Like, his 73 might have been less shots, more efficient because his defense isn't the same as Kobe did. When did 2005 he dropped?
2005, 2006.
2005 and 6 he dropped 81. Dude, that shit's insane. Back in the day, they're only scoring 80, 90 points, and you're saying Kobe Bryant scores 81? Whoever had that argument, I will easily defend Kobe that his 81 is way more impactful than the 73, but still impressive. Dropped 73 points in an NBA game.
I know, like, just looking at the total number, obviously 73, 73, but lately, how it's been trending, all these guys that go off for 60 plus, they all drop in the first half because it's already a blowout, and then they barely play. If you look at Kobe, he dropped like 55 in the second half, because they were down the whole time competing. So it's not like it was a blowout and the defense sucked. Like, he was actually going up against.
They needed his 81.
This C-Bosh, Jalen Rose, like, Kobe still is more impressive.
Yeah, I agree.
But speaking about another, you could say, mini Mamba.
Yep.
D-Book dropped 62 the same night, but they lost.
Right.
He just has bad history. He dropped 73 or 71 back against
when he was a young puppy.
2016, and they still lost.
Right.
So D-Book's just on the bad side of history, I guess.
Right. Yeah, it was impressive. I mean, D-Book's that bucket getter. He has legendary on his arm from Kobe.
Yeah.
He's the member mentality. Obviously, he's impressive, but at the end of the day, man, it's still not technically NBA season. We got one more football game than it's NBA season. We'll get into it, but we need to see if this happens in the playoffs. That's when it really matters.
Yeah, that's all that matters. And then once NFL does get done, then we can finally hit all those topics that we had down below.
Yeah, right.
Bring up some NFL debates, which will be fun. And then we can just start really getting deep into NBA and then doing a lot of comparisons.
Right.
But the All-Star starters were announced.
Yep.
I gotta pull it up again. I don't remember exactly. I agreed with all of them except
one. I think we're gonna agree on this one.
Except one. Yeah, you can go.
The one man that is obviously left out that I think is more popular vote than actually NBA vote.
Yeah.
Dame time.
Yeah.
You know, I think we can argue there's 2 or 3 guards that probably deserve it more than him. We were both big Tyrese Maxey fans, but you can also say Jalen Brunson. Has anyone seen what he's doing in New York right now?
Do you see what they're doing in New York?
Yeah, do you see what they're doing? Yeah, like what? Like that, I think, is the only snub. Everything else I can agree with. I mean, we went back and forth with KD or AD.
Yeah.
Either way, they both made it. But yeah, I think that's the one miss. I think this All-Star starters. Which I mean, I'm looking at averages right now. He averages more points than Tyrese Halliburton. He has 25, 6 assists, 4 rebounds. It's not terrible stats, but All-Star starter. I don't know.
Yeah, it should have been Jalen Brunson. He's having the better season. Dame, if you look at his percentages, he's having his worst year shooting.
Right.
But I mean, it's because of popularity.
Yeah.
Dame was the big move in the summer, beginning of the season.
Right.
So that's why. But at least it's just the starters. Brunson will be an all-star. He missed it last year, but this year he will be.
For sure.
The Western Conference, the only name that looks different that's not there is obviously Steph.
Right.
But if you're really looking at it, Luka and Shai are just having a better year.
Yeah, you 100%.
It just shows how competitive the West is.
Right.
But we all know that Steph will be a fucking starter.
Yeah, he'll be there.
I don't know if you knew this, though. This is Dame's first start ever as an all-star, though.
Really? I mean, I can believe it because, I mean, when he was we talked about Dame before, like he's undervalued because of all the great guards that he's been going against in the West for so long. So it makes
Because
sense.
Steph would always start over him.
Right.
And then you always have Harden with the Rockets.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Or Westbrook when he was there for a couple
Westbrook.
years.
Even CP3.
CP3,
Yeah. It's just, that's how competitive the West is.
Yep.
But we'll see the fucking real snubs when it comes down to the fucking reserves.
I just looked at it's tomorrow. We'll know.
Alright, so next episode we'll go over that. So we talked about this on Sunday when we were watching the Chiefs and Ravens. LeBron and Steph greatness. If anyone didn't see what happened during that game, what was it, Saturday night?
Yep.
They just know how to put on a show.
Yeah, they do.
I don't think any other person, or if I'm watching the game, I'm not gonna really watch it like I used to. But the one game I tuned in on was LeBron and Steph.
Right.
They're still the face of the NBA.
Oh yeah.
We talked about this in the summer. I'm worried for the league because there's not a rivalry like that yet.
No.
Or maybe it's getting there, but the talent's not there yet.
Right.
LeBron and Steph bring the money, they bring everything.
Right.
Obviously there's maybe Ann and fucking Shy, but they're still young.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not blockbuster enough.
It's not, and I think because what those two did in that 4-year span, going back in the finals, I mean, you're not going to have that. You say they're two GOATs, the greatest shooter of all time. Year 15, LeBron, arguably the greatest player of all time, in year 21, and they're still going at each other like that. It's very impressive and it's very cool, and they will definitely be missed because they are must-watch TV when they play each other. Obviously, I think the Warriors dynasty, you called it before the season, they're not looking good. They're probably on their downfall, and Lakers are
on their fucking downfall.
Yeah, they're mediocre like they are the past couple of years. We'll see if they make a move when trade deadline comes. Yeah, man, it was awesome to see, and I'm very glad that we still have them now so we can appreciate them because they're not going to be here very much longer.
Hopefully they both make the playoffs so we can actually watch them in the playoffs one last time.
Right.
That's the parts that you miss all the time.
Right.
Because all of a sudden like this, you have a bad year and then boom, Warriors won't make the playoffs for the next 3 years and then retirement soon.
Right.
So hopefully they make the playoffs so we can witness that greatness one more time.
Right.
But speaking of things not so great, former Lakers, Celtic, Mavs, fucking Kings, Rajon Rondo got arrested. Supposedly he had a gun that wasn't licensed or some shit.
Yeah, I'm reading it right now. I actually didn't, when I just looked at the notes and I had to look it up, I didn't even hear about this yet.
I don't understand how players can just out of nowhere this happens. They retire and then boom, they're arrested all of a sudden.
Yeah, so according to the reports, he was arrested on Sunday of a misdemeanor drug and gun charges. Indiana State Police had reports of a 2022 Tesla driving recklessly on the interstate at 1 o'clock Sunday. The trooper said they smelled marijuana, they searched it and found marijuana, drug paraphernalia, and a gun. Rondo was arrested because possessing a firearm while being prohibited in possession of marijuana and possession of drug paraphernalia, and also there was a juvenile in the car. So obviously I think Indiana's probably not a legal state for weed, so that's probably why he got busted the way he did.
Or if he was actually driving high.
That too, yeah. It could be with a juvenile in the car too.
Yeah.
It's almost like a DUI.
Yeah, and
that's
then
in the car, so.
Obviously having guns not bad, but if it's not registered, that's just another thing that can get you in trouble.
Right, and he immediately paid the bond and was released. Obviously, I mean, Rajon Rondo has all the money, so. Yeah.
I feel like he's at least smart with his money.
Right, I
Make the
agree.
smartest decisions, but
Right.
I always like Rondo, so he'll probably figure out shit. He doesn't make that many mistakes.
No.
I feel like.
And honestly, at the end of the world, this is something that a lot of players do or have, guns and weed. So
Yeah, I mean,
it's not the way. It could be a lot worse.
I mean, at least he's not showing off on Instagram Live.
That's true.
Certain players,
That's true.
John Morant.
Well, I do think maybe back in his heyday with Boston, if cell phones were like they were relevant, maybe he would have. But maybe not. I think he's a smart guy. A lot of players would have fucked it the way John did. But yeah, I agree.
All right. Just the other day, the Rising Stars got announced.
All right, let me look at it.
Obviously, the Rising Stars are always fun to watch. I just want your opinion on it. I don't like the new format. I like how watching it, but I don't like how they only select a certain amount of rookies, sophomores, and then they throw in G League players. I understand showing the love to G League players because there's a lot of good G League players that are now on actual teams.
Right.
But I think they should just go back to where it's just straight rookies versus sophomores, and you have two celebrities who draft their teams. I feel like that's the most fun way. Back in the day where they used to do that, where they had like, it was like KD versus Harden.
Right.
And they drafted players. Because there's so many rookies and sophomores that I feel get left out. Because they only select a certain amount to show in the G League players. That's also why I didn't like the USA versus the World. Because you had to go and find world players that really shouldn't have been there.
Right.
Over some Americans.
I think you probably could do that now because of the way that European basketball is, but like back then, after, like you said, American players dominated.
Yeah, like they're searching for, like they're generating some players off 2K. It felt like to find these European players.
Right. So are they not drafting teams? Or are they drafting?
So yeah, it goes. I think there's 4 teams.
Okay. So
and then
I got it right here. So
you get drafted.
Yep. So this year's player pool is 11 rookies, 10 sophomores who will be coached by Pacers. Pacers legend Jalen Rose, Indiana Fever legend Tamika Catchings, Al Gasol, and Deadlift Strength. So yeah, it's the same. This format has been. I think it was like this last year too.
Yeah, last 2 years.
Last 2 years they get legends that draft. I agree. But okay. So right now looking at it, I think you got all the right rookies. Well, actually, I'd make it. You know what? I haven't watched too many Wizards, but Bilal Coulibaly, he was obviously Victor Wembanyama's teammate coming out of France. Why do we not have Amen Thompson on there?
Oh, I see. That's
We need.
They should have him on.
They should. I think he's proved himself. He hasn't played as much as he did early in the season, but I think everyone else is right. Sophomore, let's see. Paulo, Jalen Duran, Jaden Ivey. At least, okay, we get some Pistons representation.
I just don't know this. Like, I don't even know what players are actually sophomores this year. We might be missing some players.
Right.
But these are all the big names I've noticed.
Yeah, I think they did it right. And then obviously the G League night.
Hey, at least it's got Mac McClung.
That's true. They have Oscar Tshiebwe. He was the player of the year in college basketball in Kentucky last year.
Oh yeah, I didn't even realize he was on the G League.
Yeah, he's on it. But because he's the guy that scored and Giannis won the ball back.
Oh yeah.
He was a rookie that scored and Giannis went and chased him. These other guys, I have no idea who they are.
Yeah, but it would always be fun to watch Rising Stars. So this wasn't in the notes, but did you see that Steph and Sabrina are going to go head to head for a 3-point?
So is that the 3-point contest them too, or they?
No, it'll be before the 3-point contest.
Gotcha, okay.
Like that 1 year where is Draymond Green versus Kevin Hart.
Oh yeah, okay.
Honestly, I think Sabrina could actually win.
Yeah.
She's shooting closer. It's still a girls' ball.
Right.
Like they should have done it somehow more neutral.
Right.
Like either they both pick, they use a men's ball.
Yeah.
So if they do, Steph has to shoot farther.
Right.
Or Sabrina. Or some shit. Or like Steph shoots the girls' ball. But as far as, I don't know, just make it more equal.
Right. No, I agree. It'll be interesting to see. Cool. I mean, obviously, we know how Adam Silver is bringing in WNBA and how progressive he is. So
I mean, I would take Caitlin Clark with both of them.
I would agree too. She's a baller, but she's not in the WNBA yet. She'll be next year though.
Yeah. All right. And then sad news today: Marc Gasol finally retiring from basketball in general.
Yeah.
I've kind of been waiting for that. Marc Gasol, legend. Probably was the Lakers' best center of lately with LeBron and AD.
Right.
During that, it was like the second COVID year.
Right.
But yeah, that wraps up this episode. It's kind of all over talking about Hitler, but it's a good episode.
It's a good episode. We'll get it clipped out, sent out tonight, and then shout out to the YouTube. We had 40 views. Episode of solo, and I didn't do anything to it. I just threw it out there. We'll post it on the Short Guys tonight.
It worked.
It worked. So we're gonna do